This podcast is intended for adults only. We do not condone the use of any illegal substances, and anything we consume is for educational purposes only.
Because, we should be afraid of a plant that grows from the ground. And, endocannabinoid system is, it's in your body and it produces cannabinoids. I mean, you know what? I'm going to stop because I'm going to rant. Just play the music, Mitch.
Side, man, what a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, do the enterprise, move supersize. Y'all extra like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We know how you see in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Canna podcast, where we are cultivating conversations concerning cannabis, culture, and creativity. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mitch Narito.
And Erick Esteban is right here. But I think we should right now. See, this is what, episode 27?
27.
Goodness gracious. I remember when I was 27.
I don't. No, that's not true.
I remember when I was 27.
It's a little hazy. Always hazy.
No, I met my wife when I was 27.
I met my wife when I was 27.
See? And now we're all much older than 27. But our podcast is 27 today.
Yes,
which
it
is
is.
Nice. So it's a good age for our podcast. I mean, I knew we would get to this episode because we have a good rapport. We're good friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to say that, whatever tough times I've been going through lately, I haven't been posting a lot on Canna Kuyas or even on Erick Esteban Comedy or any of the Instagram. I've kind of lost my appetite for social networking lately, but
That's fair.
But I will say that I always have the grow.
Mm-hmm. So how are the plants doing? Because it's been pretty hot out here.
Well, I've lost a couple of the autoflowers because of the heat.
How many?
I started with 9, and there are 4 left.
Ooh.
Well, 2 are still hanging on, but I don't.
You don't think they're gonna make it?
I don't foresee them making it. I don't foresee them surviving the week because they're not. It's at this point in their life when they're vegging out and they're growing. So the fact that they're not continuing to grow leads me to think that they're probably not gonna.
It's a strong indicator.
Correct.
Ah.
Yeah. And that happens, but it's a trip that. I planted 12 of these seeds initially. 9 of them sprouted. And now, after this, this is a month and a half now on these plants. And they're about to go into flower, the ones that are growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to think that there's only really one plant out of all the 12 seeds that's actually, I think, going to finish. It's kind of a trip.
Well, it's not. You're kind of count your chickens before they've hatched. You still got a little time.
Yeah, no, and for sure. But just judging from the way that I've seen other grows and even other autoflowers that I've grown, and I've grown. Remember, I grew this autoflower for 4 or 5 months already. The same.
Yeah, that's true.
The same one. So it's even a trip for me to see that. Some of them are just not even vegging out. They're not even growing. They're taking a very, very, very long time.
What do you think is the cause?
I feel like because I've already talked with the genetics people of this.
Yeah,
Equilibrium Genetics. I've discussed with one of their guys there. I've been talking with them over email, and I think I just got a funky pack of seeds, bro.
That happens?
They're regular autoflower seeds, so they're almost like you never know what you're gonna get. So I'm hoping that some of these plants that haven't flourished and then the one that's actually flourishing, it's showing signs of being female, but we'll see. Again, that's the crapshoot of growing out regular seeds, which is why I'm more happy about the feminized seeds that are. The seedlings that are growing out and see those and they're flourishing. I'm already planning on which ones I'm going to clone and which ones I want to keep in my garden all the time. The Jedi cookies, there's this one, you saw it.
Yeah, that one's nice. That one's nice looking.
Blowing up.
How many times have you started from seeds?
Let's see. The Lion's Claw autoflowers were the first seeds that I bought.
So that's one.
And I started with 4 initially. And then 2 of those ended up being male, and then we ended up smoking the other 2.
Yeah.
Remember, that was the powdery mildew. That was the veg.
Yeah, that's the one that took. Yeah, that one took a while.
And that's why I was hesitant to pop these seeds, even though I had 12 of them to pop. That's why I only popped them in 1 gallon pots, so there wasn't like a big investment in them. And I only use grow dots, so I'm not like constantly top dressing these. I'm just grow dots is just one time release. It gets the nutrients it needs during veg, then it gets the nutrients it needs during flower, and you don't have to do anything. Just water and recharge.
Okay.
Which is a cool way. Shout out to all the guys at Dude Grows and Grambo. That's kind of their kind of staple products is grow dots and recharge. Making growing really easy. So that's what I tried to do with these autoflowers that already were kind of finicky to begin with when I first grew them out. I'm like, okay, well, I've got to deal with it. I might have males or I might have females. So let's just do 1 gallon pots with grow dots and recharge and see what happens and do like an experiment.
But hold on. So it's only been one other time you started from seeds?
No, and then so the Lion's Claw.
Okay.
And then the other time I started from seed was the mint jelly.
And
remember the 3 jars of mint jelly and the autoflowers from Humboldt Seed Company?
Yeah, that one you didn't seem to have a problem with.
And that's where I'm making the comparison. So
okay.
I had 12 seeds, of which maybe 1 might end up flowering, and you get to smoke 1 of these plants, right? And when you compare it to something like Humboldt Seed Company, which is a little bit more pricey,
yeah,
they're more expensive of a seed company than Equilibrium. Like I think I got I think it was what ended up being 18 seeds from these guys for like $50. So,
and how many of those actually made it to the end?
So far, 2.
Okay.
Because we smoked the 2 in Chicago. That was the harvest that we had in Chicago. Was the Lion's Claw in Chicago.
So your ratios are about 30%.
With the correct.
Yeah.
And then mint jelly from Humboldt Seed Company, which was again they were expensive. So you're talking about I probably got like 18 seeds for $50 from Equilibrium. I only got 3 seeds for $65 from Humboldt Seed Company. So you're talking about a big price difference per seed. Yeah. But each of the 3 seeds germinated, each of the 3 seeds autoflowered, and each of the 3 seeds bore fruit.
So from them, it was straight up 100%.
100%. Like you smoked it. You smoked each one of the first, and the distinction and difference between all the difference within the strain and how it was really nice. And we had that episode with Angie, man. Shout out to Angie. But you know what I mean? Like that was wonderful, consistent, and it was within 90 days.
I just think that a lot of people that listen to this podcast probably thought we were full of crap when we say we smoke for educational purposes.
But here we go. You see what I'm saying right now?
We're learning.
But those are the only 2 times that I bought seeds. And now this new round, I got the seeds from Homegrown Seed Company.
So for homegrown, you had
we got 8. I got 4 of each.
4 of each, and then
there were Jedi cookies and strawberry cough. And what ended up happening was we got 5 germinated
out of 8.
Out of 8.
But you said some of them might not make it.
Oh no! That's the autoflower. Those are just the Equilibrium autoflowers are the ones that are dying. The other ones, the strawberry. You saw the strawberry coffee and the Jedi cookies. They're doing fine. Oh, they're just growing.
What's 5 of 8? What's the percentage? Is that? Oh God, I can't do math.
It's like 5 of 8 is like 40%.
40? No, is that right?
Yeah, because. No, 4 of 8 would be 50%.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So
55% maybe.
60. Oh God.
Maybe 60%.
This is gonna bug this. The Asian in me is fucking screaming.
If the Asian in you wants to know what the actual math is, you can. But yeah, I mean, it was still a good rate, and again, it's really hot in the Buddha Lounge, where it's like a greenhouse in there. It's like it's kind of outdoor indoor hybrid growing.
Yeah.
And so it's hot in there. So seedlings they're either gonna pop or they're gonna thrive in that summer environment, or they're gonna shrivel.
Okay.
And that's kind of what happened. And
Do you think
I'm fine with those numbers, and as far as homegrown, and I totally would still buy. What I probably won't do is buy seeds from a dispensary. I'm probably just going to order direct from the breeders and or people who are dealing reputable dealers in seed dealers.
Do you think the equilibrium would have done better in a cooler environment? Do you think it was the heat that affected it, or was it just the seeds? Are you gonna put it all on the seeds?
No, I'm not gonna put it on anything. I think there were a lot of factors that led to these funky seeds. I think the fact that there are regular seeds makes them a crapshoot regardless.
Okay.
Which is part of the reason why, again, I would rather deal with feminized seeds and feminized autoflowers.
Gotcha.
Which is what I had with the Humboldt Seed Company and the mint jelly, and what I will probably do going forward. Even with the homegrown, those are feminized photo period. So they're still feminized. I still know that I'm going to grow these out, and they're still going to, and all of them are going to bear fruit. They're all going to be female, no-seeded plants.
And
Sensimilla.
And 5 out of 8 is 62.5%.
And there you go, Asian.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was like
60. But okay,
I had to Google it, but I found out the answer.
But that's not bad numbers.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm cool with that. And I won't forget that I kind of mishandled the helmet head, because I watched a couple videos on how to handle it, and I was like, oh, I can fix it, and then I should have just pushed it down into the soil again so it could come up and have the seed come off. But instead I tried to take the seed off, and it was the seed had not yet, it was just a taproot, and it just hadn't been buried properly. You know what I'm saying? I buried it too shallow when I planted the seed is what I'm thinking happened. And so I made a mistake so I probably could have had, in the strawberry cough's case, I could have had a 4 out of 4 germination. Technically I had a 4 out of 4 germination. I just mishandled the seedling.
So that's okay. That's
and then I had 50, numbers. And then I had a 50% on the Jedi cookies, but then the Jedi cookies #1, the one that popped first, and you saw it, it's flourishing. So even if that was the only one that popped, I got that one, and I can clone that one, as you can see by your selection.
Yeah.
You see how I so easily transitioned through the grow, and your transition to the Jack Herrera, which you even were like, holy shit, when I opened the tent, you were like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's from what it started at, because it was really just a small, it was barely a twig.
And it was struggling because it had some transplant shock when we initially put it in the tent.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know if it was going to make it. Plus, we had already lost 2 clones in that tent. So, but by the way, speaking of which, we didn't lose, because the DJ Short blueberry clone that we thought died, I took a clipping of it and cloned it, and now that little clone is now vegging and is a plant, and it's with the other seedlings in that other tent. So we still saved that DJ blueberry, the initial clone that I had that died. I clipped a little bit of it and I cloned it, and so I have it saved, and so I keep the genetics, and so we still have a DJ Short blueberry.
See, it's all just it's just numbers, it doesn't really, the more we talk about this, the more I realize it doesn't really matter whether the seeds popped or not, because if they did pop, and then if the plant is good, you could just get more plants off of that, and it's
Correct.
The same thing,
Yeah.
End result is what's important, I guess.
Correct. And in the case of say for instance that Jedi cookies #1 and how it's growing and flourishing and growing so fast and vigorous, that's exactly what I want in my garden. So if I can just clone that and do that every time, well, hey, bro, then I don't have to. That's why the initial investment of buying those seeds and ordering direct from the genetics guys and knowing you're going to get something good. Even if those other 3 just grow and then they grow pretty good and they yield okay. Even in the case of the mint jelly, right, with the seeds, 2 were really good weed.
Yeah.
And then that third one, we were like, it was like some crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was different. So that's always that's almost the joy of growing, is that sometimes you get, oh, this is good weed. This is nice. And then sometimes you get that Gelato 33, or sometimes you get this vigorously growing Jedi cookies that hopefully will grow vigorously in flower and do the same thing. And then we got some really crazy Girl Scouts crossed with Skywalker OG Jedi cookies to smoke for the rest of the year. I mean, I'm really excited about this grow, because it's and like I said, it's been a very therapeutic place for me to be, during times of strife and trouble. And we're still growing here at the One True Production, so there's a lot of different things I'm juggling, and that it's all, when you have a lot of stuff on your mind, it's nice to be able to just kind of unplug and hang out and watch these beautiful plants grow.
And like Jeff Goldblum would say, nature finds a way.
Bro, nature finds a way. Like, even with these clones dying, now we got like what, 3 Jack Herreras in 15-gallon plant in 15-gallon pots that are going to grow out, and that whole tent is Jack Herrera for the whole summer. And for your birthday, it's pretty much we've decided that it's going to be pretty much harvested in your November birthday.
November.
So you're going to have your clone, your grow, and you'll have your birthday, which you're celebrating your 40th birthday. You don't mind if I put that out there?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, because I'm celebrating my 50th birthday this year. So it's a cool, like, we're celebrating the decades together.
The milestone birthdays.
Milestone birthdays together. And I'll be able to gift you jars of Jack Herrera.
Hell yeah.
Not gift you, that's your shit. That's you bought that clone, and I'm growing it for you. So
no, but it's also like I think it's cool, because it's also not necessarily lost when we say, like, clones are dying or whatnot, because you still have the soil, and then like you put the stuff that is thriving into those pots. Like, you're not, like, nothing's really going to waste. It just kind of works out. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's, I find that interesting.
Well, and it's almost like playing Tetris though too, with the garden, because it is like, because I had that soil initially, that 15-gallon pot was 2 7-gallon pots, and I just moved the soil and recycled it and put it in the big pot, so that all the 3 pots would be level, so that canopy in there of Jack Herrera would all be, eventually, by the end of the month, or by the end of August, that'll all be a nice canopy of vegged out Jack Herrera.
Yeah.
And then I'll flip those to flower in September, and then September, October, and then by November, by your birthday, you'll be clipping and tripping on Jack Herrera.
No, but the Jack Herrera plant though, like the way that it's you're training it though, it's very bonsai to me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's the other part about growing, is that you when you low stress train, because I topped that one, the only thriving lion's claw in there was topped by accident, because I was low stress training and training it down and pulling the stem down to kind of be level with the parallel with the soil, so that you can like spread it out, so that you have, we were talking about this on the other podcast, with the apical meristem energy of the top buds and the top,
things reaching
crowns.
out.
So you want all of them to be reaching up, and you want all these multiple crowns on your bush rather than your tree. So and you see how like
Eric
visually
likes bush.
I want to start yielding the way that they yield on when I watch on YouTube.
Yeah,
where they're yielding 200 grams per plant and 150 grams per plant, and like pounds and pounds of weed in their tent.
I'm trying to see, like, and that's one plant. Like, I'm trying to imagine what that looks like right now. Like, I can't. It's
like, if you watch like Mr. Canucks, he's the legend. He's the GOAT now of seed to harvest videos. This guy has one video where, if you look on his channel, he's got his head and he's holding a bud that he grew, and there's a bud that's like, it's like as big as his head.
That's crazy.
And I have to say, like, that bud by itself had to be like, how many grams? I don't even know. Like, it was amazing.
How do you break that down? Like I'm curious, like, because like you have to, you gotta trim and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, do you just keep that as one big bud, and then how would you break it up when you're smoking it? Do you start at the like? Is there a process?
I want to have that problem. I want to have that problem. I want to have that. I want to be able to. No, but at the same time, part of what even he talks about, and what a lot of growers talk about with those big buds that we grew up seeing, and like all those big, remember those stalks and those, they call them donkey dicks or baby arms that's what they call them. The growers, that's what they call them. They call them donkey dicks if you want to be vulgar, and they call them baby arms if you want to be not vulgar.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like they were big, thick stalks.
Yeah.
But that was,
why do you have to make that? Eric's making like forearm motion.
We need to get
real
video
big,
going. We need to get.
Like he's gonna fist the marijuana plant.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping that my buds become big and dense like that. But at the same time, you can risk powdery mildew. You risk a lot of moisture getting caught in there. Like even with going back to the initial Lion's Claw grow, there was some moisture caught in those buds, and some of that bud was just not good. There was too much. There was some mildew in there, and I just had to throw it away.
Oh no.
So. It's the joys and pains of growing.
All right. Well,
but we did like half the episode grow update. That's nice.
No, it's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. No, but this is a fun time. This is a fun part of the growers because it's all just veg, so they grow really fast and you can see them. And that's again part of the reason why I'm almost going to scrap this autoflower equilibrium grow and keep the one that's flourishing, but then get some new autoflowers from Humboldt Seed Company. And I'm going to shout out to Humboldt Seed Company. Yes, I use the term shout out because I'm from the 90s.
No, that's fine. It's just when you're using it like
80 times.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm going to say we're not sponsored by Humboldt Seed Company, but we would love to partner with them because they're really awesome. And I would love to, because they're consistent with their autoflowers.
No, what I wish is like one of these seed companies, like if you're out there listening, just give us a sampler. Just give us like a couple packets and just be like, see what grows and let us know how it goes.
Well, that is one of my goals as a grower, is to become a tester for a genetic company. There's a lot of people who already are. There's been a few people that have already reached out and said,
grow
do
my
this
stuff
or do that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of weird because there's such a level of trust, especially in Instagram or on those social media apps, where once they start asking you for money, it starts to get a little weird.
No, I feel okay. So this is how I feel about it. For any growers that are out there that do handle seeds, if you have a good product and you're confident about it, just like, who are we? We're just two guys. Well, technically it's just one guy growing weed, but we're just two guys. Like a packet of seeds to you. What is a packet of seeds? That's pennies.
Well, but what I would say, and part of my new what's the word? My new kick to trying to bring a little bit of excitement and sponsorship to our podcast is, I want to reach out to a bunch of different genetics companies and who will give us 500 seeds to give away to our listeners.
Oh, you're talking like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to do a grow off. I want to do a Canna grow off, and I want our listeners, if they want to start a home grow, is reach out to us, and we're going to figure out, I'm going to partner up with genetics companies, and we're going to get some seeds, and then we're going to all grow the same strain all over the country and all over, because we're like in 109 different cities now, and how many different countries. So whoever's listening to this, if you want to grow and you have the ability and the legal we're not promoting, like we say in the beginning of the podcast, we're not promoting any illegal activities. But if you have, like, if you're in a state where it's recreational or medicinal and you have the power to grow, take advantage of that power, because it is definitely something that we would love to. That's been the goal of this podcast for the whole thing, is to create more growers and more home growers. Because if you're smoking every day and you're smoking all the time, you shouldn't have to be dependent on the dispensaries to get your your weed.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, having the seed companies like just give us a couple
samples so that
we can figure it out and like just be like process of whatever works.
I'm just copying the other cannabis podcast, homie.
Like, we need a lawyer because I don't know what the legal ramifications of all that are.
No, because basically, as long as you keep it to your, it's like a growing group. It's like a gardening group almost.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I would love to create with this podcast is a bunch of Filipino American home growers that give each other tips on how to grow cannabis. Because I'll be watching all them Filipino YouTube gardening videos. I be seeing all those dudes. I learned how to make lactobacillic acid from a dude with a Taglish accent, and it was wonderful to see. But for real, like it's cool to see us because we know a lot about gardening because we do a lot of gardening. Like I'm resigned to know that I am the older Filipino tito that hangs out in his garden in his chanelas. You know what I'm saying? But I was gonna say to you that I thought about this the other day when you were talking because on our last episode you talked about I should think about something else to say, and I thought more about Canna thing, and I'm gonna say maraming salamats. Many thanks and a shout out to whatever, but I'm gonna put a Tagalog word out there on our podcast.
That's way better. That's so much better.
But maraming salamats, and I'm gonna put that out there. Like maraming salamats to.
Do you have to say? Is it salamats?
No, I put that. That's the philam part of it. I add the plurality of the pluralness of salamats. I just do that. I used to be my sign off signature on my emails was salamats, and I comment that shit and Eric has to.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just thanks.
No, that's your thing. I like it.
Yes, I like it. Yeah, but I think there you go. Maraming salamats.
Yeah.
See, you like that better?
Yeah. But you're still gonna have to say it's a shout out and thanks.
Yeah, shout out and thanks. Yeah, but yeah. But to transition, I wanted to ask you about your trip that you're going on. Well, first, you just came from Michigan.
Yeah, I was just in Detroit, or Troy technically, just visiting friends.
What is it?
Troy.
Is that what they call?
Yeah,
that's the nickname for Detroit?
No. Detroit is the D.
Oh, okay, the D.
Or like they have a thing where it's like
8 Mile.
8 Mile. So I like what
Did
I
you
found
go to
out.
8 Mile?
I went to my Mom's Spaghetti.
Oh, you did. You did go to Mom's Spaghetti.
Yeah. So Mom's.
Was it crowded?
No, not really.
Okay.
So Mom's Spaghetti is just like a window. It's like a window you can order stuff, right? And then
That's
upstairs,
a good fucking hustle.
Is upstairs is a memorabilia store, and they have like stuff there.
Did you buy something?
Yeah, I got an.
Because I know you're a big Eminem fan.
Yeah, I got a couple of gifts though for some folks.
Nice.
That are bigger Eminem fans than me. So I was like, here, I like. But it was cool. Like, but yeah, they call it the Motor City, the D. So
and Michigan has taken the number one spot in as far as cannabis industry, right?
Is it?
I think nationally.
So from when I went, the last time I actually bought weed from a dispensary there, I wasn't really impressed by the weed, but I think it's because like I didn't have like a medical license or whatever. Because if you're doing it recreationally, they cap the amount of THC you can have in it, and I think the cap is like 20%. I want to say.
Oh, so it's beneficial to have a medical card in Michigan.
You could get like, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay. So you didn't buy any. You didn't go to a dispensary this time.
No, because like for one, I didn't have a car, and I didn't want to ask like our host to be like, "Hey, I want to go buy some weed." You know, like.
But you had weed with you, though, did you?
I brought some vapes. Like I was.
So you're more or less abstained from weed.
For the most part, yeah. Like I didn't have because vapes they're not the same. Like,
no, vapes are not the same.
But then when I did get back home, like I smoked with my neighbors, and I was like, oh. There it is. Like it was like.
Well, no, that's the great thing about not smoking for a couple of days or smoking with some vapes because I did that when I was in London. It was just vapes and edibles, and then I came home and I smoked, and it was like, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Yeah. No, but Detroit is dope. I like. I liked it a lot. It reminds me a lot of like you were saying Chicago. It is a big city, but it doesn't feel like a big city because there's not like a lot of people. Like it's like there's a good amount, but it's not like as crowded as like New York or LA. Like in downtown and whatnot. Like it's very chill, and people are super friendly.
So I love Detroit. I went to Detroit a couple times growing up in Chicago. But you are also traveling man. Going to be at Comic-Con this weekend.
Yes, I am. I'm doing a panel on Thursday night. My buddy JPG, he owns Intermit Studios. They put a lot of content out, like for streaming services and tabletop RPGs. So maraming salamat to them.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Him and his wife Alex. They're.
I didn't give you permission to use my shout out.
I just wanted to see how I felt about it. I don't like it. It feels weird. It's just weird.
It's easy for me. That's why I say it all the time. So anyhow, no, but tell me about Comic-Con. Like you've been there a couple times before, right?
Yeah, like I'd never gotten to Comic-Con, and then after.
Can you smoke in the convention center at Comic-Con?
No, you can't.
That's a shame.
But it's San Diego, so like you can smoke anywhere else.
You can.
So, but I try to be low key because like there are a lot of kids there. You know, like
sure.
I try to
Comic-Con,
like step away from the sides. Or
see, that's why I liked my convention was Complex Con.
Yeah.
That was my spot because I was literally, my job was to pass out weed and rolling papers.
Where was that?
That was in Long Beach at the Long Beach Convention Center. That was so much fun.
Long Beach is different.
I rubbed shoulders with a lot of heroes of mine and hip hop heroes of mine, and it was a wonderful time. So I know how that is, but I can see where Comic-Con is a very different, more family oriented. You know, it's about, I mean, comics and. You know,
no, it's fun. Like
we are flirts.
Yeah,
we're both flirts.
Filipino nerds.
We're gonna copyright that here on the Canna Kuyas, which is also copyrighted Canna Kuyas and flirts. We're Canna Kuyas and flirts, Filipino nerds. I love. Yeah, but I'm glad that you're gonna be at Comic-Con.
Yeah, no, because like I started going because after I booked the Good Place. Someone was like, hey, you know, you could go to Comic-Con for free. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, you could get like a participant's badge, like if you're at a panel, or like they were like, you could use that you're on a TV show and get like a press pass or entertainment pass or something. Like there's like different ways to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I do that? And then I found out I could, like, and then I just would roll.
I feel like that as we grow as a podcast, we could reach out and get a press pass for.
I'm pretty sure, like, there's a lot of stuff, like, and especially with the people that I've met, like, they organize a lot of panels, a lot of events at Comic-Con. Like,
I'm looking at you, Hall of Flowers. I'm looking at you, Bizco, or what is it called? The medical, the cannabis industry. I think it is Bizco. I think that might be the Second City touring company that I was in. I can't remember. My pothead brain is not remembering. But there's a big medical or cannabis industry convention in Vegas in October.
What's it called? Do you know?
I'm trying to figure that shit out right now in my head, but I'm stoned.
Oh, no.
But anyway, we'll figure that out, and we'll probably want to go to something like that because I think that would be fun to go to.
No, dude, if I could do...
and if it times out with the Vegas in October where you know, laugh after dark, and then the convention center for Vegas with cannabis, I'm down for that.
I still like, for me, I still haven't had cannabis internationally. Like, it's only been in the U.S.
So well, the only places you can have it internationally would be Canada,
Spain, Amsterdam,
Germany
now. Where else? That's not true. Well, I had in Italy when I was on my honeymoon. They couldn't sell you, like, they had hashish. You could buy hashish, but you couldn't buy weed, and weed was only like, it had to be less than like 10%. But I did have I had a CBD beer in Italy. Like Italy's kind of weird.
I don't the only weed I've ever smoked internationally is that I had vapes in London when I was there in London with my wife and my kid, and then had edibles, but I didn't have any actual flower with me.
Yeah, see, like that's like because I know cannabis is a thing, right?
Even in the times where I've traveled without my own weed, since I've lived in California, and even when I lived in Chicago, when I didn't have weed with me, because I used to, smuggle weed in my butthole. I did.
I know you've mentioned it.
I'm just saying, I used to double bag that shit, and I used to have like an eighth of weed in my butthole. That was before they had those vacuum things where you had to raise your arms and they could tell whether you had it was like a cavity search without a.
You got that doo-doo OG.
I got that doo-doo OG. I got that baby poo terps.
Oh no!
But it's my poop.
Oh,
but anyway,
God.
Those were the days, man. If you wanted to travel with weed, and some people were done with it. Like there was just a metal detector, and then they wrapped this shit in tinfoil, and you're like, "What are you doing, dude?"
I don't know.
I think Allen Iverson did that shit.
I'm glad I'm glad I never had to deal with that. Yeah, like I
really should talk more about that and therapize about that on stage, about how I used to carry weed in my butthole. And how I've been addicted to weed for that long.
That doo-doo OG.
Well, it was never doo-doo. It never smelled like doo-doo because it was just that outside bag that kind of smelled like doo-doo. It wasn't like I put it all the way in there. It just got rested in my crack.
Is the brown crack?
It was just rested in my crack.
Instead of green crack, you got brown crack.
I don't like putting anything in my butthole. That's just weird.
You got that.
This conversation has divulged. We should go back to what we decided on talking about.
Those butt plug
so
cookies.
You're gonna be at Comic-Con, you're gonna be, let's stop talking about my butthole for real. No, but you're gonna be at Comic-Con this weekend.
Yes,
but we are both gonna be in San Diego again this Sunday at Mic Drop Comedy. And you're going to be at Comic-Con, and if people see you at Comic-Con, you'll be giving away free tickets to Ube World.
Yeah, it's like we planned it or some stuff.
I don't know if we planned that. We both said it at the same time. That was kind of nice. It was like, Wonder Twins, activate.
Right? But
I'm excited, man. And shout out to Mikey Perry. Maraming salamats. But we love you, brother. And we'll be there on Sunday, and we're gonna rock the house and make a lot of people laugh. So if you are in the San Diego area and you are listening to this right now, go to Mic Drop Comedy San Diego, and you could even go Mic Drop Comedy Ube World and put that in the Google search, and it'll take you right to the ticket link to get tickets. I don't know if it's sold out or not yet, but.
Well, I'll be giving out some tickets, so you can get in as my guests.
You won't even have to buy tickets if you can find Mitch Narito at Comic-Con, and you want to go to that Ube World show. Mitch will be giving away free tickets, and you can find him. But you'll also be selling Canna gear, won't you?
Yeah.
So it's ultimate one-stop shop with Mitch Narito at the Comic-Con, because I'm not too old for that shit, but I'm too old for that shit. Like if I was on a panel, like you're on a panel, then I'd probably go down. But if I'm just going down to go down and wear a costume or some shit, I don't even have a costume.
I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna.
You can just be you because you've been on TV, and so you can go as Donkey Doug.
My farmer tan is atrocious. So I gotta wear sleeves.
Yo, y'all's on TV right now. Currently, you're on, what's this commercial you're on now?
Oh, I've got a wireless cricket commercial playing. It's a dub commercial.
Follow us on Canna Kuyas at Instagram. I've just posted that on our story, and you can see the little screenshot of Mitch with his little blue. What is that?
It's the cricket
speaking spell.
It's the cricket wireless mascot, and it's funny because
what is that supposed to be?
It's I think he's a SIM card. I don't know.
Fuck it. That's a weird.
It's funny though because like the screenshot I took, it looks like the dude's stoned.
It's awesome. I love
funny.
it. It's like they feel like you're having them stoned hallucinations or something, and you're hallucinating the Cricket Wireless logo.
But if you guys see it out there, I haven't seen it I haven't seen it myself yet. I went to a website and I checked it out. But my buddy who I'm in acting class with, when I touched down yesterday from Detroit, my phone blew up and he's like, "Hey man, I'm at the gym. I just saw you on TV." He's like, "Your mustache is glorious." I was like, "Thank you."
Your mustache is glorious, man. Look, man, this whole thing is all about just us and talking about cannabis, but it's also celebrating our successes. So I'm just congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. But speaking of successes, and listen, I'm gonna say it like this: if politics turns you off, then guess what? This is the part of the podcast where you might want to tune out or listen and with an open mind, only because I think cannabis is going to fast become a political issue in our country, and I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the developments that are happening in our country, and in regards to cannabis, but in regards to just our country in general, because I'm excited about the candidacy of Miss Kamala Harris.
Yep.
And we were just talking about this because I know when she was running in the primary in 2020, there was a lot said about her prosecutorial record in regards to cannabis and marijuana users and marijuana dealers and all that was facing her in that time. And you brought up something really interesting about that because we were talking about it before the podcast. So
yeah, because so I saw one of the main things that Kamala had going against her, that people would say is oh, she's locking up because she was a prosecutor, and a lot of people were saying, oh, she's prosecuting a lot of people for marijuana,
right.
And I recently saw there's something going around online. It pretty much says it's this dude that he kind of debunks that thing because he actually looks into the numbers and he looks and sees how many people did she actually lock up for it, because the way that it was presented to me, you got the clip.
You got the clip.
For years, I've been told, hey, she put thousands of black men in jail unjustly for marijuana charges. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. So for years I didn't like her because of that. Then last night, because I was bored, I sat down and I said, well, how many thousands? 10, 20, 30,000 dudes? So from 2004 to 2010, Kamala Harris was the district attorney for San Francisco. And in that time, she had several convictions for marijuana charges. Her total amount was 1,956 people. And you may say to yourself, that's not thousands. I know. Because even less actually went to jail. The number was 45. So for years, we've been told, hey, she's locking up black men left and right unjustly for weed charges. When in fact, not really. Now, I will say, in 2010, when the bill came up for the legalized weed, she sat on the sidelines. 2016, she did the same. She didn't come forward and speak publicly about it until 2018. So, just to give you a little fact check in, Kamala Harris isn't responsible for locking up thousands of black men for weed. I don't even know where that came from. Say it again, you've been had.
So, how many people?
45.
But that's crazy because, from the way that
But they can spin it how they can spin it. She had a relationship with the mayor in San Francisco, Ronnie Brown, right? And technically, he wasn't divorced, but he was estranged from his wife for 10 years.
Oh, is that?
That's what. That's they're gonna spin it that she cheated on. There's going to be so many ways that the conservative media and the internet is going to spin all the different stories because the whirlwind's coming.
They're struggling though, like because they had this plan for Biden, right?
Which is why Biden's Dark Brandon move, that was just such a brilliant political move to be, because he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to choose between these two old dudes.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that he had to almost figure out how to give it to the next generation of Democrats. And I think Nancy Pelosi did that with the minority leader now. What's his name? From New York. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyway,
I don't know either.
He's the minority leader in the House. God, I can't. Now I'm blanking on his name. But anyway, that's happening in the House and in the Senate. You know, the younger folks are starting to take control, and I feel like that's what Biden. He's just passing the baton to the younger generation, and because that's what we need. I think you could see it from the fact that this lady raised $100 million in 24 hours. Like, there's a hunger for change. There's a hunger for a youth. We don't want these two old dudes talking about the past anymore.
I saw a news story. So after they announced like she was gonna run, right? They her campaign had put together like a Zoom call, calling out for like black women who wanted to help with the campaign, right? They opened it up and it had a max of 1,000 people, right? But while it remained open, it was 1,000 people at a time. But overall, the numbers, like the people that were included in the Zoom call, like that were learning how to actually contribute or help with the campaign, it was about 40,000.
Yeah. I think there were even estimations because they ended up crashing that StreamYard link, and then they reached out to StreamYard, and StreamYard opened a link.
No, it was Zoom. Was
it Zoom?
It was Zoom. Because the CEO of Zoom actually got involved.
There was another one with StreamYard that was just basically the same thing, but they crashed it and they opened it up, and people want change, and I feel like even with what Joe Biden was doing with the rescheduling, that's a baby step towards hopefully ultimately legalization and or decriminalization, which is a goal of this podcast and a goal of mine, and I think a goal of yours too, because I think as we keep doing this podcast, we realize that cannabis, especially because it's going to be such a big industry, it's billions of dollars even now, even just here in this state. And unfortunately here the cannabis industry in California is kind of floundering right now, and I think we need to I think a lot of it has to do with some out-of-state operators that have manipulated the system, and corporate entities that have kind of taken over.
I have feelings about that too, because like there's for me it's about cannabis in California is taxed pretty heavily. But where those taxes go to, I have never been a fan of, because from my understanding, it pretty much goes to the police. So they can hire more police to arrest people for not
weed.
Yeah, not violent crimes or like whatever crime. But it is a slush fund. It goes into a police slush fund, and like there should be more transparency with that. And like if you're gonna tax weed and that it's gonna be it's gonna make you X amount of dollars, I feel that they should distribute that more over public resources, like teachers, freaking mental health services, like that. It should be going to that stuff.
And even if you really think if you're against cannabis and it's proliferate, then go towards drug treatment centers or something, but not cops, not police. I don't know that
it doesn't help.
It defeats
it's not
the purpose,
helping.
Man. I don't know that, but that's part of the reason why I grow my own. Man, I don't want to keep giving my money to, because that's a lot of money. 20% of your purchase is tax.
No, it's more than that.
It's even more than that.
It's more than that because like you have your California state tax, you have your marijuana excise tax, and then
reading your receipts. See, I don't read receipts.
no, there's a bunch of other. There's like a lot of like pretty much like taxes equal almost 30 to 40% of your purchase if you're buying from a dispensary.
So again, guys, whether or not you like it or not, if you are a cannabis consumer, and if you would like to liken yourself a cannabis connoisseur like we do, cannabis is a political issue and will be going forward. So how you vote this November is going to determine a lot of things. Like the Republicans in Florida have a ballot initiative whether or not they're going to determine whether marijuana is recreational in Florida, and the state GOP in Florida has spoken out against its legalization. So, let's just know where you vote if you want to smoke. I really should stop trying to rhyme. But Kendrick has really inspired me.
You sounded like, have you ever seen that clip of Hannibal Buress and T-Pain when he's like doing, like he has like a sequencer and he's doing
Are you comparing me to Hannibal Buress? That'd be really nice.
No, I am comparing you, but I'm comparing you because you sound like you're doing like the 80s rap. Like
hip hop, the hip hop to the hibbity hop hop. Come on, man.
This guy, man. Like, no, but that, like, if you haven't seen that clip, look at that. The clip is hilarious. Do.
No, what I was realizing, because I remember I wanted to write a rap.
Please don't.
No, but like a comedy rap, like a Weird Al Yankovic kind of thing.
Okay.
But then I realized that I don't know if I should maybe I should leave that to the younger bucks. We'll see.
I don't know. You could be what you want to be. You do what you want to do.
Look, marijuana inspires me, and cannabis inspires me to do a lot of different things. And so who knows? Who knows what's coming down the pipeline for us?
We'll see.
But you got to stay tuned to the Canna Kuyas, because we're here. We'll have grow updates. Like I said, any seed companies, any genetics companies, any Filipino American genetic seed
do
companies.
Those exist?
Who knows, man?
I
never know.
I hope they do.
You never know, because we gained followers on Instagram at Canna Kuyas a bunch, and like a lot of them have a Filipino flag in their profile description.
Okay.
So it's interesting to me, and it makes me feel good whenever one of those people are following us, because it's like another person who maybe heard this podcast and went ahead and followed us on Instagram. And I really appreciate every one of you that do follow us. And again, if you can and you want to, write us a review.
Yeah.
Like,
subscribe, all of the goodness.
All the goodness. Make a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify would be wonderful. Anything you can do to interact with the podcast online, share it with your friends, share it with other, like-minded cannabis friends. We're trying to be out here. We're on episode 27, and we're going to keep going every week, giving you more cannabis talk, cannabis cultivating, cannabis conversations about creativity and cultivation.
Wait, are you making up your own new thing now?
No, I'm just trying to remember what the fuck it was.
Oh my god! Okay, so I'll
Mitch usually does the sign.
Oh my
off.
god, that was crazy! I was like, I'm in an alternate reality right now.
No, you're not.
But yeah,
not yet. Can't wait for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ooh, it's good. I'm waiting too. Like I can't wait.
You want to go watch together?
Do IMAX? Let's do it.
When does it open?
It's supposed to be this weekend, I think.
We okay, guys. Maybe we'll do a live from Deadpool Wolverine, and we'll do a Canna Kuya review, because we're gonna be smoking after that show. After we watch the show.
But to all the marijuana ates and Canna Kuyas listening, you've been listening to the Canna Kuya podcast, where we are cultivating conversations concerning cannabis, culture, and creativity. I'm one of your hosts, Mitch Narito,
and I'm Eric Esteban, and I know that sign off. I'm really stoked right now. So, hey.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
It's the third where I go cop some shit. Fuck a thief, so fuck zoomies. Yeah, they whack ass jacket shit. Yeah, I move too swift, so I strike in silence. Fuck the violence, man. Check my mileage, cause I got drive. First tour, I drove 6 states. Never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized. Do the enterprise, move supersize. Yeah, I let you like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We know how you see in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Let's go, gang, highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. Ay, you can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud pack. Ay, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, keep the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up. Y no se compara. Yo estoy con mi pana, se llama Trigger, fumando ganja. Estamos con Cali, fumando en Cali, yo sé que traen ganas. Ella me dice, papi, que terminamos la cama. Highest in the room, yeah, we get fucked up. Ay, you can count on Trey Cap, bring the loud pack. Ay, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run.
Yeah, we got hits like Tatis and Machado. Man, we know you're not a leader, cause all our moves you just follow, packing big bowls. You know we just scooped up that gelato, cause I smoke killer. My shirt iller, yo, ask our dealer, we the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I rarely rock designer.